Have you ever noticed that after spending so long trying to heal, one day you simply look up and suddenly the world feels different? Not because the world changed, but because you did. Hey, I'm really glad you're here. Come sit with me for a while. I'm so glad that our paths have crossed today. Let's spend a little time coming back to ourselves gently. For the last 12 weeks, we've spent a lot of time looking inward. We've talked about healing, boundaries, loneliness, forgiveness, and learning to trust ourselves again. It has been a season of slowing down and paying attention to what was happening inside. But this week, something shifted. Instead of looking inward, I found myself looking up. It wasn't one big moment that changed everything. It was a dozen little moments that quietly reminded me that life is still full of beauty, wonder, and possibilities if we're willing to notice it. Earlier this week, I had one of those heartfelt conversations with a close friend that left me feeling lighter than when we'd started. Another dear friend called to share some exciting news, and I found myself genuinely celebrating alongside her. One of my daughters called just to catch up on life, and another surprised me by telling me that she had started studying astrology, and then she told me that she had ordered me a new astrology book. I can't tell you how much that delighted me. It was one more little reminder that learning never really ends. I've been leaning into my playful, curious side lately. I've been thinking about embracing more creativity again. I've also been paying attention to the current astrology, not because it determines my life, but because it gives me another lens for reflection and timing. Whether you follow astrology or not, I think there's something beautiful about paying attention to the seasons we're living through. This week, I also opened up a package from Carnation Grove, and it honestly felt like Christmas morning. Inside were essential oils, creams, lip balms, stones, and all kinds of beautiful treasures. As I unpacked everything, I realized it wasn't just the products that excited me. It was what they represented. They stirred something in me, a desire to learn more about herbs, natural wellness, and building a little apothecary at home. I found myself wanting to plant medicinal herbs, understand what grows around us, and reconnect with the gifts that nature has always provided. At the same time, my body reminded me that healing isn't just emotional. I've been dealing with this strange pressure in my head and a heaviness in my chest. At times, it almost felt like my upper body was quietly pulsing. I've experienced it before, but this time I decided to stop guessing and start asking questions. I searched to see if it could be related to cortisol, and that simple question sent me down a rabbit hole of learning about stress, especially for women in the season that I'm in life. One thing really caught my attention. Waking up between 2 and 3 in the morning isn't always mysterious or a spiritual experience we sometimes make it out to be. Sometimes it's simply our body's way of saying, I need your attention. I need your care. That doesn't mean that every middle of the night awakening has the same cause, but it reminded me how important it is to listen before we assume. That curiosity led me to call a local herb shop and ask questions. Then I had another wonderful conversation with a friend who used to own a herb shop herself. She shared practical ways to save money by making things yourself, forging wisely, and appreciating what the earth provides. The more we talked, the more I realized how deeply this aligns with the life that I'm trying to build. Slower, more intentional, more connected to creation, less dependent on constant consumption. I've also made some decisions about returning my focus to my health and wellness. The more I learn, the more encouraged I become. So many things that I've been struggling with can improve through simple, consistent choices: better food, strength training, lowering stress, good quality sleep, listening to my body. There are also some changes coming that involve my property. It's a decision that I've wrestled with for a long time, and while there's a little sadness and even some guilt, deep down I know it's the right choice. I believe letting go of this burden will bring my body, mind, and spirit a great deal of peace. I'll share more about this as it unfolds. One morning, while taking something to Mr. Darcy, I made a stop at the library. That's where I found The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. Oh my goodness. You know how chefs give a little kiss after tasting an incredible meal? I give this book the philosopher's kiss. It awakened something inside of me. It reminded me that creativity isn't just about making art. It's a way of moving through the world with curiosity, openness, and wonder. I already know that I'll be buying my own copy someday, so I can underline, highlight, and fill the margin in with my own notes. But for now, because this copy belongs to the library, I'm simply reading it slowly and enjoying every page. As I'm recording this, I'm waiting for my oldest daughter to arrive with 5 of my grandchildren. Today I'm helping her learn the YouTube ropes. One of the greatest joys of my life is watching my children discover who they are and having the courage to pursue what lights them up. Whether it's creating, building a business, learning something new, or following a dream, nothing makes me happier than seeing them become more fully themselves. And I hope our grandchildren grow up believing they can do the same. Before the day ended, Mr. Darcy quietly did something that filled my heart. I wasn't able to check out that library book that I wanted, but without making a big fuss, he took care of it so I could keep it for a whole month. It was one of those simple acts of kindness that says, "I see you." Those moments matter more than we realize. After everything this week, the conversations, the learning, the books, the little surprises, the kindness, and the shift in perspective, I came across another creative soul whose story absolutely blessed me. Sometimes it isn't just the person you discover, it's the community they've gathered around them. I found myself reading through comments and learning just as much from the people there as I did from the creator. I'll leave those resources below if you'd like to explore them too. So as I sit here today, I can honestly say that I feel different, more balanced, more hopeful, more encouraged. Maybe you'll even notice a little new flair around here in the weeks ahead. The lesson this week is beautifully simple. I looked up from my slumber and a whole new world appeared. I'm choosing to take everything this week gave me: the conversations, the books, the herbs, the laughter, the creativity, the curiosity, and the kindness, and see the world through a different pair of glasses. Not because life suddenly became easy, but because healing taught me how to notice the beauty again. So, wherever you are in this big world, thank you for spending a little piece of your day with me. Stick around. We're doing this together. Talk soon. Peace.